Welcome back to another Untangled, your knitting and sometimes crochet question and answer show with me, Stuart from the Wool Patch.
And me, Jimmy does knitting.
Hope you're well, fully recovered. You were battling it last time we were chatting.
Whoa, last episode was rough for me, but thanks for hanging in there. I'm doing much better, thank you.
Great. Here we go then. From Reese, Glasgow, Scotland. Swatching in the round. Do you do it? And if so, how? I always just swatch flat and hope for the best. Yes, someone just like me. Or I start the project with best guess needles and start again if my gauge is really off. I completely feel for you there. I'm in his boat. Jimmy, what say you?
Well, it depends on the project. If it's like a shawl or a hat or something, I don't even swatch. But if you're doing a garment, I will say swatch, because you get a handle of the needles and yarn and you can get about the gauge that you want. I don't think swatches are entirely accurate. So if we're knitting a fabric with one yarn, whether it's knit flat or in the round, your gauge, depending on how you knit, can change. So let's say I'm knitting this, which was actually knit in the round in the bottom and then flat on top. My gauge is slightly different. Oop, I'm hitting my mic, sorry. Gauge is slightly different on the top than on the bottom, but for me personally, it's not that big of a difference. So for something like this, I would just swatch flat, knowing that as I go in the round, I'm usually a little tighter, but not a significant amount. That is because the purl stitch, when you do a purl stitch in most styles of knitting, you actually use more yarn. So that distorts thing when your knit stitches are this close and then your purl stitches are like this close.
I see.
It sort of distorts the gauge a little bit once everything sort of evens out.
And because if you're knitting in the round, you're very rarely purling compared to knitting flat and then purling.
Correct. So that's why they say it. Some people's gauge varies tremendously. Some people's does not. Mine does not. So for something like this, I would just swatch flat because it's the easiest. What comes in handy for swatching in the round is color work, because color work, you know, most of the time is knit in the round. Very occasionally it's flat, but usually it's in the round. And so what we do in those occasions is we make these little rugs. They look like rugs.
Oh, cool.
And what you do is you knit one row across, and then you have these things which I've now cut. But these, imagine, these little fringy parts were at one point connected. So you knit your right side row, take the tail, leave it long enough where it doesn't like pucker or anything, scoot your needles down, and then knit another right side row. And that's what swatching in the round is. And I do this for color work. So that is what I do personally. Theoretically, if something says it's knit in the round, swatch in the round. If it's knit flat, swatch flat.
I wonder how many people listening or watching do a swatch in general, or certainly when it comes to knitting the round. He says there, I always just swatch flat and hope for the best. Well, at least you swatch. How many people don't? I don't think I do it in the round. I think it'll just, the gods will see me right, hopefully. And not often be wrong. I suppose you know your knitting in the end, is that right? You get to know your knitting.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's with experience. A lot of things affects your gauge and your tension and how that will be in the final thing. A swatch is a good indicator, but I would say it's not going to be the final gauge of your pattern by any means. But you can tell, and I would suggest, especially for a garment, swatching, because sometimes some yarns do some crazy things that you're not expecting, and it would be nice to have it fit after all of that work.
Indeed, and especially if you're spending a lot of money on jumper quantity yarn, because some of these yarns are very, very high end, and some of these patterns now with the modern sort of in way is using 2 strands as well, or maybe even 3 strands. You're counting up the money, aren't you, for this garment?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer if you spend a lot of time on it, you should make it work for you. So you should make sure the gauge is kind of close. You should make sure that you make modifications so it fits your preferences and your body a little bit. And if swatching in the round is going to do that for you, then I would recommend it. If it's not that big of a deal, then I wouldn't bother.
Well, there you are, Reese. He's told you how to do it. Let us know on your next make, whatever it is you're doing. Okay, question number 2. All the way from Australia, Jimmy. From Suzanne. Ooh. She says, and we'll go through this in parts. Okay, the first part. Hello, my question is about converting a bottom-up watch cap beanie pattern from 1x1 rib to stocking net. If I wanted to achieve a similar fit but knit the beanie all in stocking net, would the same stitch count work, or should I decrease the number of stitches I cast on? Right, let's just go with that bit first. What you say?
I think the answer is how much does the beanie need to stretch? So I have 2 examples for you. One's in black, so I apologize, but this is more visual if you're just listening. I have the Oslo hat by Petite Knit, which is just stockinette in the round.
Okay.
And then this is my Troy Boy beanie, which is a free pattern, and this is a 1x1 rib. And so let me just show the people who are watching. The issue with the 1x1 rib and why it's good is you see how much this flexes. This flexes a tremendous amount. Now, I have a really small head, so I don't need this to expand and be more cozy on my head. It pretty much just stays what it is. But I think people have different head circumferences. So the issue with the rib is it sort of fits everybody and it makes it nice and snug to your head without being too tight. And a 1x1 rib is a great way to illustrate that. Now, if I do the same thing with this Oslo hat, you can see there's not as much give to it.
My word, yeah.
So if you take it into comparison, this stockinette one needs to kind of be more the size you want it, whereas a rib is a bit more forgiving. For example, these are about the same. I'm mirrored on the thing. These are about the same width. The black one is about 40 stitches less than the red one.
Yeah.
So you will need to play with some numbers in order to just convert it straight to stockinette.
Second part. Another option I'm considering is to knit the brim as per pattern in 1x1 rib and then change over to stocking net for the rest. I'm guessing that this would work fine with the same stitch count, but that the fit above the brim may be a bit looser.
Possibly. Usually the designers who do like a collarwork hat, for example, have that thing where you have the brim as a rib and then the top in stockinette stitch. And so you probably would want to use maybe a smaller needle for the brim than the top part. But I mean, there are a ton of hat patterns. I'm sure there are a ton of free hat patterns where you could kind of see the numbers and see what works.
Yeah.
And you look at the pictures and see what fits the way you want it to fit. But I do recommend the ribbing typically for the part that goes around the ears because it's more flexible and that's the part that's going to be tightest on your head.
Yeah.
Like the forehead, you know, if you've ever had a hat that's too tight and you get the ache.
It gives you a headache, yeah.
It does, for sure. Yeah. So if you have the rib there, it's flexible and then the rest is kind of what it is. It also depends on how you want to wear the hat.
What I like, Suzanne, is that you're up for giving it a go and being creative and playing around. She says the pattern I'm using at the moment is the ribbed watch cap and beanie pattern by Church Mouse Yarns and Tees. Thank you very much. Well, there we go. You've just got to have fun playing around with your needles and your stitch count and having a go, don't you think?
Well, I mean, a hat, how long does it take you to knit like one of these? You know, it takes me a couple days max. So you can do hats very quickly, and then you can make experiments, see what you like, see what you don't like, and then you can always do what I do and have a big box of hats that you're never going to wear. So when people come over, they can just pick a hat and they can leave with a hand knit hat.
Sorry, so you have a big box of hats that you're never going to wear. How? Why? Did you say never?
Yeah, I did a lot. So I love beanie hats. A giant
I'm wearing them all the time.
You don't know about my bin? No. I have a huge bin which is overflowing with knits that I've made that I'll never wear. So like every time some people come to my house, I like give stuff away. So I don't gift knit or anything.
Oh, I see.
I just have stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
And have you got a lot of beanies in there?
I counted the other day. I think I have like 12 beanies in there.
Oh, well, I need to come over so I can be gifted one.
I'll give you some, yeah.
I love a beanie hat. I just like the look in winter, just having it on. I love them. I could have them in different colours. Yeah, I love it. Great. Oh, I like. Do you know that's what we've got to do when we have our little chat sessions sometime on this podcast. You've got to get your bin out. We've just got to go rummaging through your bin.
It's an adventure, that's for sure.
Well, there we go. We're going to stop there. I know we normally do 3 questions, but we've actually only got 4 questions left. So we've got 2 questions this show, and we've got 2 questions next week. And then if we don't get any more questions, well, you're not going to see us. Jimmy will go on strike. So please, if you want the show to carry on and you like it, send in some questions. If we don't get any more questions, we'll get the hint, won't we?
It will be all right.
Yeah. Well, you said you liked talking about fashion. You know, on my last Woolpatch show, I did a little fashion feature of all the catwalk models. Well, maybe next podcast, next week, with our only 2 questions, I'll get some pictures ready and we can talk about a couple. Because I presume some caught your eye when you were watching them, did they?
Oh yeah, I slid into the comments on that one. I think even your DMs. I was like, I really like this. You can't show me anymore. I need to finish the one I'm working on first before you give me fashion inspiration. But I think it's really cool to be able to like see what else is on the runway, because the knitting space is very different than what the runway space is at the current moment, and it's very inspirational.
Oh right, well we'll do that next week. So if you like to hear about Dior or Dolce & Gabbana or Armani, then next week will be a good one. Right, let's finish off with our whips then, where we're up to. I've got a finished object. That's right, isn't it? Which I'm rather chuffed with, and I will be showing this next a couple of weeks on the August show of the Woolpatch show. A fabulous mesh top from the cocky crocheter Kelly. It's out now. It was launched Saturday and I was lucky to test it. I should wear it next week, really. It makes sense, doesn't it? But look, all finished. I liked it so much that he said, oh, I've got another pattern. I'm like, wow, you did that quick. Would you like to test crochet this? And I went, oh yeah, okay. And it's very similar with the crochet stitches and mesh, but it's like a wave. Jimmy, you'll love this. You ready?
He does good work, especially for, that's really nice.
Oh, let's get it to focus. There you go.
You know, I've tried to knit several summer tops, and just summer tops that are knit for men are just not, they don't hit the same as a crochet knit top for men. Like, what he does is really great for like a summer knit top, and he has some beautiful designs, and that one looks incredible that you're showing.
It's on your needles, or what are you doing at the moment?
So, I mean, I have one project that is exciting that I think you know what it is. Speaking of fashion, with a capital F,
yeah,
we have my Prada sweater. So what this is my take on a autumn winter 17 Prada sweater. And I have to say that I was gifted this yarn from West Wool, because otherwise, honestly, it would have been cheaper to buy the actual Prada sweater than the sweater I'm making. But this almost killed me last week. I swore off knitting. The issue was I knit the sleeves 2 at a time, but they were too big, so I had to rip out intarsia and then reknit. It was soul crushing, but today I was a little busy instead of working, and I have sewn it all up, minus I don't have a collar on this yet, but the sweater is nearly complete, and it actually fits, which is shocking because the math and stuff for this was absolutely insane. So, and I got my math wrong in multiple places somehow. This is it. It is almost done. This has been on, I think I got the yarn in January, and I think I cast this on in like March. So this has been on my needles for quite a long time. So
show us the rib. The rib, you went with the blue, didn't you? The navy?
I went with the dark blue.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Everybody else said, because I took a poll on this, most people said do this color, which is really beautiful blue. Even Stephen West was like, I would have gone with the blue. You did it wrong. You went with the dark one. I knew you were going to go with the dark one, but he's like, I would have gone with the blue. So if you voted on that, maybe you're right, but not this time.
What are you going to do for the neck? The same? The blue? Same blue?
The dark blue. I hope I don't run out of yarn, but I'm going to do a like a double knit band into ribbing. So it has that little encased collar look. It's going to look fantastic. So that's how it is in the commercial version.
Yeah,
so I'm going to do that for this
colours.
one.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? And quickly before we finish, what about your triangular? I saw on Instagram your triangular make that you were experimenting with. You did it, but you said you weren't quite happy with it because when the arms are down, I suppose the triangular bit just naturally flops and almost flutes a bit. Was that right?
Yeah. But I mean, for the sample, I made the armhole much smaller, which worked. But I have ideas, and I wrote notes of if I want to attempt it again, but I don't know if I want to attempt it right now because there's,
Yeah, I suppose it's like a good book, isn't it? You know when you want to read the next one or not, or reread it again later on. I suppose sometimes that's with projects that you're playing around with, and you're like, okay, and move on to the next one. If it was really exciting, you would have ripped it out, or you would have tweaked the maths and did it again, I suppose, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm more excited about some other things that I have sweater quantities for at the moment that I cast one on last night, and so I have a couple of things that I need to get going once this is done to really get going on.
Is this the Rosarios one?
Yeah.
Cast on.
That's not the one I cast on, but I have the yarn for that came in, which was very exciting.
Oh my god, you've got so much yarn. You've got the purple yarn and the blue yarn, or whatever. I've lost count now how much you've got.
I have a lot, which needs to be knit up.
Oh, it's good. Oh, it's nice when you get into something or you can't wait to start something, so you're like, I'm going to cast that on. Mm-hmm. You've got all your needles taken up now with stuff on them?
I had to buy more needles, so no.
Oh, brilliant. Right, there we are. Thanks, Jimmy. That was really good fun. Enjoyed that. Thank you for sending the questions in. The link is in the description below to send more questions in. The more questions come in, we'll keep on doing it. Otherwise, we might be having a break till September, October when everyone's knitting. Perhaps because it's high summer. That's probably why, isn't it? Everyone's out, aren't they? They're out in the garden enjoying the weather. So yes, send us some questions in and we'll keep going. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks very much, everyone, and see you on the next one. Cheers, Jimmy. Ta-ra. Bye.
Bye.